exist. But obviously we had a disastrous general election night in December. I think it was absolute foolhardy decision to go for an election in the middle of winter anyway. We're always, in my opinion, hiding to nothing, particularly when we're fighting it on the whole Brexit issue. And we've ended up in a situation now where, as a result of that decision, we've handed Boris Johnson's Tories a majority of 80, and so they can more or less do what they like now for the next 5 years, possibly longer, unless we can get our act together. There is a Labour Party leadership going on right now as we speak, but in terms of the role of Parliament, I think, over the next 5 years, to a large extent, is going to be irrelevant. And I think, therefore, what we need to be looking at is building the resistance outside Parliament. And I think that the resistance, therefore, to this government will come from communities and on the street. And I think we need to look for inspiration, in my opinion, to what's going on just a few miles across the English Channel. You'd think it was on the other side of the planet, or indeed on another planet, to look at the mainstream media coverage of it, because there is very little, if any, coverage of the Williamson campaign, which has been ongoing now for well over a year, and they have forced Macron onto the back foot, and he's been making a number of concessions, and I think we could therefore learn a few lessons from their tenacity in actually pushing back against the state when the state is moving against ordinary working people, as they were trying to do under Macron's regime. And so I think what we need to be looking at, therefore, is seeing how we can pull together a new grassroots movement. When I lost my seat in 2015, I'm very careless, I lost it twice now, in 2015 and then again in 2019. I was in a state of despair, I think a lot of us were, and then Jeremy came on the scene, and it, I think, really buoyed us all up and gave us new hope, and we felt that there was a solution, really, a way of actually fighting back. And Jeremy was a real, in my opinion, genuine breath of fresh air, someone who was coming forward with a hopeful prospectus that gave us the determination, I think, to try and fight for something better and not just roll over. And I think we're in danger at the moment, if we're not careful, of kind of giving up. I think a lot of people felt that I certainly did, felt that we climbed to the top of the mountain, glimpsed over at the promised land, and that's been snatched away from us now. And so I think, therefore, that we need to dust ourselves down and look at how we can work together to build a grassroots movement. Now, as I say, when Jeremy came on the scene in 2015, it gave me hope. I think it gave hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people hope. And then we saw the development of a grassroots movement in the form of Momentum. But I think Momentum, to a large extent, has lost its way now and isn't really serving the role which many of us, certainly I, hoped it would do. And so what I think we need to be doing is looking at how we can pull together and work in communities up and down the country, particularly working class communities that have been passed by to a large extent, and try and galvanise that sort of politics of resistance. And so I've been speaking to a few people about the potential of pulling something like this together, but not to sort of recreate an alternative Momentum, but to do something which is more of a kind of loose federated structure where we can pull together existing grassroots campaigns and activities that are already out there. But where I think is where it's often missing with what is happening with some of the great work which is going on in communities is to raise political consciousness. And I think we need to raise that political consciousness and give people the wherewithal to recognise that the reason why they're in the situation that they often are, through poverty and so on, is through no fault of their own. It's a result of the system. We're the 5th biggest economy in the world, for God's sake. Nobody should be living in poverty. Nobody should be struggling in poor quality housing or in low paid employment. And I think, therefore, if we can give people that sense of purpose, that sense of direction, that this is a movement that belongs to them, then I think we've got a real chance of being able to build a new infrastructure outside of the state infrastructure, which is increasingly absenting itself from the public realm. And I think we can look around to examples, and I wrote a piece for Labour Heartlands, which some people may have read, but we can look at examples around the world, like the Panthers in the States, where the States, both the federal and the the states within the US have basically failed to provide adequate services for communities, and the Panthers stepped in and provided like breakfast clubs and legal advice and clothes and things like that. And those sort of community programs are something which are really important, but we need to have, like with the Panthers, a sort of a political dimension to it. And what I'm hopeful is that we can then bring people through, bring people on, give people the confidence to become the next generation of working class leaders, and then to start taking on roles in local authorities, for example, and then ultimately into Parliament as well. Because there's a lot that can be done, I think, with local government right now. Even with the various restrictions that have been imposed on local government for many, many years, there is now the ability of local authorities to build council houses. There is now the ability of local authorities to set redistributive council tax budgets, to stop the Tory cuts and to stroke. But we need people on local authorities that have got the political bravery to sort of take on some of these decisions, because they will be attacked if they do that. But in the end, what is the point of us gaining control of the local authority or getting into government if all we're going to do is allow the bureaucrats to run the show, if we're not actually going to make a genuine difference and to rebalance the power in society in favour of the many rather than the few. So I think there is a lot that we can do, and we've got some people here from the was it Corbyn's Community Challenge, which was established. Great initiative that we can use. We're going to use the online presence that we've now got, hopefully into the future. But who knows what changes will be brought about and restrictions imposed upon them. But while we can use it, I think it's important that we do that. And they, from a standing start, as I understand it, after the election in December, I've got, is it 20,000 now people on, which is incredible, and they're kind of working, doing stuff in the community. And what I think we therefore need to try and do is, and I'm speaking to a few people about this, is try and bring that together and kind of coordinate activities like that and other activities that are going on up and down the country, so that people feel that collective strength that exists out there. Because there are more of us than there are there. We are many, they are few, that is for sure. And I just think we've got to find a way of giving people confidence to sort of take this forward, as it were. And that's why I think things like the Word, which I know we've been speaking about today, and issues like community radio and the use of social media in general, like this Facebook campaign, the Corbyn's Community Challenge, is so important. But we need to kind of bring those all together, I think, because they're kind of operating in isolation at the moment. I mean, I don't know how many people outside of people that's already involved in, for example, Corbyn's Community Challenge, were aware of that. And it is a nationwide thing, but we need to therefore find a way through trying to create in my opinion anyway, a new grassroots movement that can help to share best practice, that can help to share those ideas, and to start to give people the confidence in communities that they really can turn their lives around, that we can rebalance society, that we can rebalance our economy in favour of ordinary people again. And so I think there is room for optimism rather than negativity, and we do, as I was saying at the beginning of my remarks, have to dust ourselves off and move forward, because what other choice have we got? I mean, Jeremy once said that it's not called the struggle for nothing, and Jeremy was subject to the most vituperative, disgusting attack consistently. I don't think any political leader, even Tony Benn back in the day, wasn't subject to the level of abuse that Jeremy was, but he's come through it. And I know it's been bad, and I myself have been subject to a terrible abuse too, and I believe treated incredibly unfairly. But I'm not going to be in prison. I'm not going to be shot. I'm not going to be assassinated, I hope. Whilst it's bad, it ain't as bad as some of the challenges that working class movements in other parts of the world are facing. That's what about real solidarity, when people are prepared to put their liberty and their lives on the line. We're not actually risking that. And so I think it's really important that we do come together and recognise the strength can turn things around. We can build this new movement if we put our minds to it. It's been done before. It's not like it's never been done in the past. There's some great projects, as I've said, that are already happening. We just got to find it within ourselves, using our kind of human ingenuity to coordinate that and to give people that confidence to carry this flame of hope forward. And just to conclude, it's important to have sort of Q&As really, just to remind ourselves of what Tony Benn once said, that there are two flames that burn in the human heart, the flame of anger against injustice and the flame of hope that we can build a better world. Well, we can still build a better world, comrades, and we have to keep that flame of hope that we will build that better world. And you know, in a few years' time, we can say, you know, the revolution started here in Oldham. Yeah. And, you know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a solitary step. Let's remember that. And I think we're starting to take some of those steps here today. And if we can take this message out there, I'm planning with some comrades to pull together a conference. We've got people like Loki on board already. We're speaking to Kerry-Ann Mendoza, Francesca Martinez, people like that, who are very supportive of moving something forward and not just sort of sitting back and, you know, in despair really. We do need to recognise that we can move this agenda on, that we can win back the support that was lost in this election. And you know, I know people say this is the world, the commentators say it's the worst election result since, was it 1935 or something for the Labour Party. But the actual number of votes that Labour achieved was 10 million, which is 1 million more than we achieved in 2005 when we had an overall majority of 60. So, you know, there is still everything to play for. But the biggest cohort in every election, something I've been banging on about, what I was talking about when I was doing the Democracy Roadshow, are the non-voters. And what I think the kind of projects we need to be involved in now, these community projects and this grassroots movement, needs to be, you know, inspiring people right across the piece, inspiring those people who feel that politics has failed them. And politics has failed them, actually. That's why there are so many people living in poverty in this country. 14 million people in the 5th biggest economy in the world are living in poverty. 1.5 million are destitute. It's an outrage. And we need to, you know, we need to give voice to that anger, really. We need to help people voice that anger in a positive way, in a practical way, to actually turn things around. So I think we can build an infrastructure outside the state structure right now, and give people hope through that, build that politics of resistance through that, and over time, those working class leaders will come through. It will pay dividends for us. It will help, I think, to challenge what is happening already and resist the onslaught that the communities are going to be subjected to. But then it will stand us in good stead to regain political power. And what the stakes were last time, and indeed in 2017, was the ability to bring about an irreversible shift in the balance of wealth and power in the country. And I think the establishment in this country recognised that in Jeremy Corbyn there was somebody, notwithstanding there was not so much support within the Parliamentary Labour Party, and this is why we need new leaders to come through who will be able to replace those characters in the Parliamentary Labour Party, or whatever group ends up being in the ascendancy in the future, to take forward a progressive socialist vision for Britain. But I think that, you know, it can start here, it can start from, and should start from, the grassroots. And if we can achieve that, we can then build in that resilience for the future, so that they won't be able to take it away from us again. We will be able to deliver that irreversible shift. And that's the key word, the irreversible shift in the balance of wealth and power and income in our country. And we can build a kind, fair and decent society that I think we all aspire to while we all got involved in the Labour movement, whether that be through the Labour Party or through the trade union movement, or just through being active in our local communities. But it's a big prize that we're fighting for, comrades. And so, in the words of the US Protests on, keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on.
Okay, everyone, before we go